You are now watching Shot in 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
What's going on, horror fanatics? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host Marcus. Please be sure to shoot that like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as shoot that notification bell so you get all the latest content updates to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 movies that has influenced what we are going to see in Halloween Ends, as said by David Gordon Green: My Bodyguard, Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and Christine. But before I get into it, let's hit that intro. I shot him 6 times! We are 2 days away from the release of Halloween Ends. The wait is almost over, and all the questions that we have for this film will be answered, for better or for worse. Let's hope for the better. But before we get to the movie, I want to discuss the 3 influences for Halloween Ends, as said by David Gordon Green, as I stated in the beginning of the video: My Bodyguard, Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and Christine. I will start with My Bodyguard. Just to note, this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen these 3 films and do not want to be spoiled on these 3 films, this video may not be for you. A comedy/drama that was released in 1980, My Bodyguard is a film that stars Chris Makepeace, Matt Dillon, and Adam Baldwin. Makepeace portrays Clifford Peach, a young man who lost his mother to a tragic car accident, who lives with his grandmother and father. Dillon portrays Melvin Moody, a bully who goes to the school where Cliff is now attending at. And Baldwin portrays Ricky Linderman, another young man who goes to the school that has a tragic backstory as well, and seems to be feared by everyone at the school. As you can see, there is some resemblance between the Clifford Peach and Corey Cunningham characters, especially with the curly hair, but as well as with the whole having to deal with the bully aspect, as I assume Corey is being bullied and beat up in Halloween Ends, which would explain the gash on his face before meeting Michael Myers in the sewers. Ricky Linderman would be Michael Myers in this aspect, as he not only had some tragedy involving a sibling, but he is feared by everyone, including having not been seen for an extended period of time, which sounds like Michael Myers in Halloween Ends, being he's been gone for 4 years. Long story short, Clifford becomes enamored with the myth known as Linderman and seeks out to not only befriend him, but for Linderman to be his protection and bodyguard from Moody. This falls right in line with Corey being Michael's accomplice, leading Michael back to Laurie and possibly setting up for Michael to be his bodyguard or him to be Michael's bodyguard, what have you, against Laurie and the rest of Haddonfield. We proceed to Linderman having to deal with a bully of his own hired by Mooney, to where Linderman takes a beating but backs off and walks away, only to later reveal to Cliff the truth behind the tragic death of his brother, as it was assumed that his brother accidentally killed himself, but it was Linderman who actually did kill his brother by accident, as he was playing with their dad's gun and the brother tried to grab it from him to hold it and the gun went off. This lines up for both Michael Myers and Corey Cunningham's characters for Halloween Ends, as Michael Myers killed his sibling in Judith Myers, and Corey is accused of killing a kid that he is babysitting that could have been an accident, but it is not certain. We get to the final act where we see Linderman and Cliff run into the bullies Mike and Mooney, only this time Linderman doesn't back down as a fight breaks out with Mike, and when Linderman gets the upper hand, Mooney tries to help Mike jump Linderman, only for Cliff to intervene and beat up Mooney, helping his friend and walking off. This lines up with the theory that there will be some type of bond between Michael and Corey in Halloween Ends, as many of us believe they will be working in tandem. I've even gone on record before saying I believe they could be at the same place, same time killing people in Halloween Ends in certain scenes. This also lines up with the ending for Halloween Ends, having a big fight feel at the end, obviously some big final showdown, a brutal fight will ensue, some type of street fight, as Jamie Lee Curtis has, stated in interviews. So this ending of the movie definitely gave me vibes of what to expect for Halloween Ends. The second influence I'm going to talk about is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. Before I get into it, I want to say if you have not seen this movie, definitely give it a watch. It is really good. I'm not going to spoil too much of it. I'm just going to give you guys the premise, as there's a really good twist, and I just don't want to ruin it for anybody who has not watched it yet. But the premise of the movie is about a woman named Cheryl who has been taking care of her nephew since his parents' death when he was 3 years old. But she doesn't just want to take care of him. She is obsessive over him and controlling, to the point she will stop at nothing to keep him home and from leaving for college at Denver University. This influence lines up with the theory that Corey Cunningham will be obsessed with Allison Nelson to some capacity and is willing to stop at nothing to possibly even get rid of her grandmother Laurie Strode to have Allison all to himself. It also lines up with the theory of Corey possibly being framed as Michael Myers' copycat in Halloween Ends, as in Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, there is definitely some framework going on leaving someone wrongly accused. And the last influence, but certainly not the least, is John Carpenter's Christine. From Corey Cunningham's last name being the same as Archie's, to the apparent change in Corey Cunningham's demeanor when he meets Michael Myers, like when Archie buys Christine, to the junkyard scene possibly being where the end of Halloween Ends takes place. Halloween Ends has already shown in the trailers how much influence Christine has on this movie, especially with Corey's character and his transformation after being possessed by an evil he cannot control, much like Archie Cunningham and Christine. The only question that remains to be answered is, will Corey suffer the same fate as Archie and Christine, which is death? After watching all three of these films and the Halloween Ends trailers, plus all the info and the interviews and the photos that we have got, I definitely see all three films' influence in Halloween Ends story, especially with My Bodyguard and Christine, as I feel a lot of elements from both of those films are littered in Halloween Ends story, and it's going to be fascinating to see how all of this blends together. But okay everyone, that is it for this video. Shoot the comment section, let me know your thoughts on these three films, and what influences do you think they'll have on Halloween Ends. And if you haven't watched these three films, give them a watch so you know what to expect to some degree for Halloween Ends. Once again, this is I Shot 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host Marcus. Please be sure to shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out a lot. As well as shoot that notification bell so you get notified to all the latest content updates. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon. Thank you all for watching.